Welcome to the Johnny Dell Football Academy podcast on the channel that's trying to answer the whys and hows of the game by talking through and dissecting game film and diving deeper to explain why the X's zig and the O's zag. I am Adam Marino, joined by Mr. Johnny Dell, and we are reminding you, as always, the most fun way to watch is on YouTube, where we go live. There you can comment into the live show. Be sure to hit the notification bell and turn on your notifications so you can be a part of the conversation. We also stream live on Facebook and X. Also, the audio versions are always found on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Now, if you are live with us in the chat, it's probably because you are subscribed, you've hit the notification bell, and turned those notifications on. So, when sharing with your friends, be sure to let them know. We also love to hear from you outside of our live show. Email us at johnnydellsfootballacademy@gmail.com, and you can always check out the website jfa49.com, as it is the most fun way to support the channel. Also, the way we boost the chat and boost the algorithm is to type out hashtag JD49. Yes, Zach Shrout made it. Mike B, speaking of Apple, yes, we will talk about that and many other things. Welcome in. It is a Monday, the last Monday of July. We are excited. Thank you to all who are boosting the algorithm. Lisa, Marcos, Mikey, the usual suspects. Johnny, I want to ask you, what is Brock Purdy going through right now? Because I, as far as I know, have no children. And so I'm curious, when you had your first, what you went through.
Well, it sounds like, excuse me, I need a little drink here.
A little, Java.
Yeah, it sounds like this was planned, the way that Shanahan said it. So most likely, this was a planned inducement or something, or possibly a C-section. I don't know. But my first child, my oldest daughter, we had no idea she was going to arrive when she did. She came a little over 6 weeks prematurely. My wife's water actually broke with no contractions while we were at a restaurant.
What?
Yeah. And
I haven't heard this story. This is not normal at all.
Okay, I can't get into it's a long story because I can't get into the whole thing. I had started gutting my kitchen, which is not a good idea when your wife is 6 months pregnant. So I was 3 weeks into this full gut of my kitchen. I mean, when I say gut, to the studs, and I was replacing some sections of the subfloor. There was a leak that had been there in the kitchen. And so I had just finally done everything. I did it all myself while she was there. I had redone subfloor. I had added more subfloor, 3/4 inch tongue and groove, wax coated OSB, by the way, and done new insulation, rewiring, new plumbing, drywall, and everything, reframing some areas. I had just finished the tile and was putting together cabinets. And we decided to go to a neighboring town to go look at some stuff for, the last bit of accessories. Went to dinner afterwards because we didn't have a kitchen, and her water broke there. 4.5 hours later, my daughter made her entrance into the world, a little at 4 pounds, 12 ounces. And it was different since then. But, so that one, I can't relate if it was something like that. Because it doesn't sound like it was something like that. My second child, my wife started having contractions at like 5 minutes apart. We drove to the hospital. By the time we got to the hospital, they were 2 minutes apart. An hour into being at the hospital, her labor stalled. And so we were there for another 12 hours. And then they had to kind of kickstart things, had to bring in another pregnant woman to hook her up to jumpstart no, I'm just kidding. It was some Pitocin, and they got things rolling, and she came out a little bit afterwards. My son, though, he was a scheduled inducement because he was right up to the due date. And so, by that point, it was my third kid. So We had gone through this process a lot. As a new parent, Brock Purdy is not getting a lot of sleep. More, I say, kudos to his wife for they are having their baby, and she is most likely being mostly a single new mom while her husband is at training camp,
Yeah,
locked
very
away from the
busy.
team.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for him, and just as the personal side, when that little baby comes into the world, you want to spend every second with them, and that you can, and they're there. And this is happening in the middle of a training camp when he doesn't even get to go home at night, to his new little baby. So it'll be a challenge for him to kind of work through that, and he'll get more rest than he would if he was at home. But he's going to be missing out on those moments, which is probably not going to be easy for him in this time.
Yeah. Congratulations to the Purdy's welcoming the new baby. That is always very cool to see. We talk so much about these players, and we go twice a week, and we've been doing this for years, and we love these guys. And so when you see some good, we've had some bad situations with kids and babies with some of these players, and it's nice to see something positive. um, but okay, now that we went to some positive, do we go through some of the negative? 'Cause I'll be honest, man, I am nervous. I'm nervous, Nelly, with our freaking wide receiver room.
Yeah, the wide receiver room is it's
Nervous,
it's the walking wounded right now. I mean, let's be real.
nervous.
That Juwan Jennings had to leave practice
Gosh.
with a calf issue. That Shanahan said was something that he actually had hurt in OTAs. He dealt with the same sort of thing in OTAs. And they start getting really they get really murky and non-specific about things. He's dealing with an issue. It was a little something, and they'll say something like that, and you think, okay, it's not that big of a deal. But then, like, the season will end, and somebody has a surgery that to fix an issue that they were dealing with, and they haven't felt like themselves in 2 years, sort of a thing. Um, like, that's what I get concerned about is, okay, this is an issue, a little something that he was dealing with in OTAs, and now it's flaring back up. We kind of heard that about Christian McCaffrey last year, and it turned out to be bilateral tendonitis and kept him out almost the entire season. So those sorts of things are frustrating, and it does make you nervous. And maybe this does affect the 49ers, saying we're not going to give you a lot of guaranteed money if you're dealing with an injury issue right now. And so what does that mean for Juwan Jennings and this season with the 49ers? I don't know. And it does make me nervous, and it does make me concerned. You have Brandon Ayuk, who's still not back, and we expected that. I don't expect him really to be back until the end of September at the earliest, probably early October. There's been speculation that week 1 is in play. I don't know. I just don't know. We'll know more in the coming weeks, but you can't count on it. And Jacob Cowing, he's got the hamstring. Now, we did get some positive updates. I wasn't expecting him to be back until early September. Usually those hamstrings, it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks, and 4 weeks is on the early side. And they're looking at on the 14th, which is just a little under 3 weeks away. So, in the end, it's like 3.5 weeks is about what it's going to keep him out. I was expecting him to be out a little bit longer. Thankfully, he's going to be back. They're eyeing for the 14th of August, so he'll still get some camp left. Same with Renardo Green. It was updated that they're expecting him back on the 14th. And so those are positive injury updates, because both of those kids need time in camp. This is not a 6-year vet who's been through camp 3 or 4 times, 4, 5, 6 times, and knows the process, has been in the building, understands the system, understands the techniques that they're asking, and can deal with not having a training camp. This isn't that situation. These are 2 young guys, second-year guys, who need to make a big jump in this upcoming year. They need these training camp reps. They need this time with Saleh and Shanahan and the coaches working through things and getting their timing and getting their technique, getting everything. So I mean, now that we're down Cowing, we're down Pierce or down Juwan Jennings, down Brandon Ayuk, that wide receiver room is thin. And you were talking about some not just thin, but thin at veteran leadership. The rest of the guys that are there are all young guys. So this is it is a point of concern. We really need Garendo and Jordan James to get up to speed so we can rely on the trio of McCaffrey, James, and Garendo out of the running back room early in the season. That's how it's starting to feel like it's shaping up.
Yeah, I am nervous. Like that's just and I don't like. I thought we would be feeling a little bit better about the wide receivers. If it's gonna happen, I'd rather it happen in July than any other time, but man, it is just nerve-wracking. And yes, the pads do come on today.
They
So
do.
man,
Which I think the things I'm most excited about with the pads coming on today, we're going to get a peek at Michael Williams in pads
yeah.
and banging against those offensive linemen and where he can really shine. Because it's one thing, to see him using his quickness and stuff on the inside, because that's what we've been talking about, and different people have been mentioning is that he looks really, really good on the interior defensive line, which again we've kind of figured that he was going to be that Eric Armstead role for a while. That he's going to be base down defensive end, and then on pass rushing situations, he's going to move inside. I really do expect that, especially with the addition of Bryce Huff. I think getting Michael Williams, actually getting that pick and knowing that's what his role was going to be, was what triggered the pursuit of Bryce Huff. If the 49ers had gotten a more traditional defensive end like a Mike Green or something, then I think they would have that Bryce Huff would have not been in the pursuit. But because they got somebody who's going to fit in that base down defensive end, stuff the run, contain the edge, and then in pass rushing situations, move him inside, and then D Ford comes in and is what we did in 2019. Now you have it instead is going to be Bryce Huff comes in and Michael Williams moves inside. So want to see him go against these guys in pads, use that power, be able to use that length. And then how does he deal with that when you got a guy like Trent Williams who's going to get in your face and close the distance and try and make it harder for you to use your arms, and it's going to get real physical. See him hold up against some of these double power blocks from George Kittle and Trent Williams. Can he hold up to that? Because if he can hold up to that, he can hold up to anything in this league. Get Alfred Collins out there, that massive human being out there, and plug it up. And I think that's going to be a phenomenal battle between him and Dominic Puni. I think that's something I would love to be at camp just to watch that.
Yeah.
But I want to see that left guard competition. I'm hoping Ben Barch is going to come off the pup real soon. He needs to get in there with pads, and he needs to start getting in there and compete with Nick Zakelj for that left guard spot. Hennessy needs to show what he can do in pads. He's somebody that's really intriguing. I'm really excited to see the line. I want to see these kids get in there. These young guys get in there and compete with the pads on and hear the reports. I want to see the videos. I want to see all of it.
Yeah.
Like I want to see all the clips on X. Because those hit me a little bit different. I'm like, okay, I know what they're doing, and I see what they're trying to do, and I see how things move. And so I want to see him in pads. I want to see this happen, and I can't wait for it. So I'm going to be watching with all anticipation on my end.
Oh yeah, big time. Speaking of anticipation, it is almost season 2 for Sports Edit Nation. Next week starts season 2, where episodes are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Right now, this week, it's still Monday and Thursday. So check that out. Be sure on this very channel that you hit the notification bell so that you can be updated when new content drops. Johnny's going to be having the videos coming hard and fast when the season gets started. So be sure to take your phone, show it to 49er fans. Johnny, we were talking a little bit about some of those defensive guys. There are 2 defensive players in particular that I want to talk about. One had a scary moment, and one gets his like 8th or 9th or 10th or 15th chance in the NFL with us. Where do you want to start?
Just fire away at me, Adam. Let's see what happens.
So I am no joke. I know I have the most random crazy stories like running like having to sit next to George Odom's now wife, but it gets more random. I am right now, you can't really see. I am
Nope, that
texting.
is
Yeah, you can't
a
see.
bright blob.
Yeah, but just take my word for it. I am messaging Eli Apple's ex-girlfriend. I I absolutely am. So she was on Sports Idiot Nation. I'm not going to give her name away because she may not want to know, but you can go through our catalog and find her. And I just messaged her and said, "Did you hear that Eli's with us?" And she goes, "What? No. He watched my Instagram story this week." That was about it. And she thinks he's engaged now. I'm trying to suck out
Whoa,
some more
whoa, whoa,
information.
whoa,
I'm
whoa,
trying to
whoa,
get some
whoa.
more info.
He's engaged now, and he's peeping his ex-girlfriend's Insta.
Oh, you
I
know how
mean,
you scroll. You know how the
y
stories come up on Instagram. You just
yeah,
tap it with your
you
thumb.
also unfollow. Oh my, this is scandal breaking out
Okay.
on the
Okay.
JDFA
Podcast.
podcast.
Yeah. I'm
Somebody
just
tag Mayoko. We
fact.
gotta. Oh my goodness.
So yeah, Cornelius wants to know, how do I manage to meet these women? Yeah, they are
Amazing what you can accomplish when you're desperate. No, I'm just kidding. Um,
no, this is crazy. I get it. It is completely crazy. When I saw that, I was like, what? So I messaged her. She is a Cincinnati Bengals fan, and his time with the Bengals, she had met him. He went to Ohio State. She is from Ohio. So that's kind of the story there. But so I'm almost not intrigued the more I think about it. Like, the dude, did he even play last, like, how many snaps did that guy get last year? Like, I was trying to do a little bit of research to come with you fine folks, and I'm like, dude, there isn't much.
I mean, there's not much. He's been a veteran that's been around the league, and I mean, he's coming into his 10th season, I think is what it is. He's appeared in 102 games. He appeared in just 4 games last year. He was with the Chargers. And then the year before it was 10 games with Miami. He has not been a starter in since 2022, and that was with the Bengals, and he wasn't a
Yeah.
great starter at that point. I think what this is really about is you need a some sort of veteran that you can come in or that you can bring in and provide some competition and looks for your young wide receivers that you got to get up to speed. So this feels like a camp body that you're bringing in and then kind of kicking the tires on, saying, is there anything left in the tank with this kid?
Mike B,
This guy, like,
47 defensive snaps.
I mean, yeah, it's not exactly like this is somebody who is that kind of wily vet that you're bringing in, and it's a really sneaky move. No, I mean, you're bringing in somebody that, again, he's been in a number of different systems. He's going to be just asked to play a lot of outside corner and provide those looks that you want for your young rookies, or your young rookies and your second year wide receivers that you're trying to get up to speed. You need to be able to provide the right looks for them to operate against. And you don't need somebody out there who's just trying to learn their spot, period, out there. You need somebody who can provide at least an NFL look against them. That's what I think. I don't think this is a player who's going to be on the 53-man roster come September. I really don't. I think this is just a camp body to bring in who will still give a quality look. Because what you don't want is Ricky Pearsall going out there and just absolutely blasting some guy who has only ever worked at Home Depot in his life. I'm not no disparaging moment to anybody who works at Home Depot. I'm just saying, like, that's not exactly who we think about as an NFL corner. So you want somebody out there who's at least proven they can be in the league and give that kind of perspective there, and then maybe come in and teach up some of your young corners, especially with like a Renardo Green out there who can bring that experience and help lead that room a little bit. Because we don't have a lot of veteran presence in the secondary. We just don't. Diamador Lenore is that, and and it also does make me wonder if the 49ers have heard anything about a potential suspension coming down for Diamador Lenore after his incident. And he did address that a little bit in his presser. He did apologize to the fans, to his family, to the team, everything in there. That he was just he allowed himself to be in a situation he should have never been in. And so maybe they've heard something about this and they're just trying to bolster that room because they may be without somebody there. And Eli Apple might be a practice squad guy that if you have somebody who can't go in week one, if you have a few, one or two more injuries down here and you're getting really thin in the cornerback room, if Diamador Lenore is going to be a potential suspension. So that's how I see it. And Apple, I do see him as an outside corner, at least in this. He played a lot of that in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I remember him being there. He was mostly an outside guy. So that's what I think is just they're going to stick him there. And it's like he's your absolute last line of defense kind of thing. Like the home army sort of defense. Like they've gotten through everybody else, and you need somebody who at least can man the position, and try and do your best around it.
But yeah, we don't see maybe more than 47 snaps. I will say we are not going to end the show with me telling a story of how I meet these ladies. And no, we're not doing, because I'm onto it now. I love how you do it twice, and now it's like just the norm. Like people just associate that with like, oh, that's how the show now. Like, no.
Look. I will say, the first time I did it to Adam, he didn't realize that I actually ended the stream. He just thought I cut him off with the video, and we kept chatting. No, it was like we kept chatting for like 5 minutes. The stream was over. Like up in the top right, it says that it's playing, and he never looked up there, and the stream was over, but y'all kept commenting in the chat. And so we're just chatting for like 5 minutes, and then Adam goes to close the show, and he was like, all right, well, until next time, stay safe. And I said, whoa, dude, the show's over. The stream has been over for 5 minutes.
Because I will say, we normally talk for a little bit, like a couple of things, either that maybe we didn't get to, or we dive deeper into one particular thing just for another 17 seconds, talk about what Johnny's got going on at home with the kids or something. And it's like, and so it was around that realm that we were still going. And so anyway, I'm not falling for that. Okay. That is quite enough of that.
Sorry. I didn't mean to offend your sensibilities and your,
Lisa says it is the norm now. We just,
I mean, look, we do what we can.
Yeah. All right.
But Adam, did you see, so I saw this morning. Now I have, full disclosure, I have not played Madden for like 2 years, 3 years. Like I got really into it. I got too into it. I was just way too into it. I am far too competitive. Like I am an extremely competitive person. And it's just, it doesn't end, like, it doesn't go well. It's not good for me. And I guess in some ways, to be trash talking like the 11-year-olds that I'm smashing, like you can't handle my flood concept, sort of thing. Because like several years ago, I was super into Madden, and I was on the MUT draft mode. I was like ranked like 26th in the world, and so like I was too into it, and I could only do that mode because that when I could actually use some real football and real football concepts and stuff, and then like once you get over a certain ranking, everybody that you play after that, it's no longer real football. Like it has nothing to do with can you read a defense or anything. It literally becomes about who can spam cheese and hit like eight hot button adjustments before the snap, and that just like wasn't any enjoyment for me. So like I kind of walked away from it because like I would go play people online, and within like by the start of the second quarter, I was playing people who were literally dropping 11 men into coverage. Like they would drop all their defensive ends. They would drop everybody into coverage to try, because I was just passing on them like crazy. And then the game would be broken. You couldn't run on them. it'd be like they're dropping 11 guys into coverage and I only can run for 3 yards at a play. And it was like, this is stupid. So like I'd walked away for a little bit, and it was on PlayStation. And I didn't keep up. I didn't get a PS5, so I was like, okay. I had thought about doing some streams of like doing the real football in here. Like, here's how you can do this. I have, because like I would set up plays. I would have every formation I would have at least 2 runs out of, and then every formation I wanted at least 4 passing plays. And every passing play I would have multiple coverage beaters within. So like I would only choose plays out of the playbook in there that I knew, okay, I can either hot route to create a different concept over here based upon what I'm seeing pre-snap, or I would usually have a cover 3 and cover 1 beater on the right side. I'd have a cover 2 and cover 4 beater on the left side. I'd have a hot route for a cover 0, and every play I had this, every passing play. So I'd pull out like a Rolodex of 25, 30 plays that I could do this. And that's why people get really frustrated, because I'd see everything pre-snap and go, okay, they're showing me, a shell look. So this is either cover 4, might be cover 3 buzz. And so I know if I see the safety rotation, I'm going here or I'm going there. And that's how it would be. Or if this linebacker goes, I'm throwing it there. And that gets really hard to play against when people have that. So I get really frustrated. And I would always choose like the pocket quarterbacks that didn't pull nearly as much like draft capital and stuff as people who'd always sit there with Lamar Jackson every time. I'm like, give me Joe Montana or Dan Marino. Like, I get those 2 guys out of the game, and then I beat everybody until it got to G's. Anyways, so I thought about doing some streams. Like, here, I'll show you how you can do this. I see this play, and like I remember I went against one guy, and he kept running cover 3 the whole time, and cover 3 or cover 4, and it was like cover 4 with an 8-man drop, and I kept running an 8-yard out route on him. I'd ran it like 5 times in the first 20 plays, and the dude messaged me just like an expletive filled rant about how I was cheesing him, and I was like, dude, you're running cover 4. You don't have the leverage to cover an 8-yard out. Your corner's going to bail every time. Like, stop running that coverage if you don't want me to complete. He would, like, it was getting to the point he was grabbing his outside linebackers, running them out past the numbers before the ball was snapped. And I was like, and then I would just run off that side, and I was like, and he would get so mad. I'd be like, bro, you change your coverage.
Take what the defense gives you. Yeah.
Right. And most people, anyways. So I thought about doing some streams like that. But the big thing that I think I saw that was coming this year, and I still keep up with it because I still follow some of the Madden stuff, is that they released the 99 Club in Madden. And you know who wasn't on it? Any 49ers.
Womp, womp, womp.
That's a sad day. Nick Bosa's been a part of the 99 Club. Trent Williams had been a part of the 99 Club.
No one deserves it. Honestly.
And I will say, Fred Warner, I think, should have been in the 99 Club. I don't think he's ever been part of the 99 Club as far as opening day.
Yeah.
But it was kind of sad to see. But I also looked at it, and I couldn't, like, I wanted to be triggered and like post something about it. And I was like, but I can't
really get,
Fred was hurt a lot of last year. Trent missed most of last year. Nick Bosa missed most of last year.
They're all a year older.
Yes, Myles Garrett made the 99 Club, and Nick Bosa didn't. But I can't argue with that, based upon the production last year. So that saddened me a little bit, Adam.
Yeah, I still play Madden now, and again, I sold my PS5. I did get a PS5. I sold it to my cousin, but
Vinny?
no, Mike, who I do the music podcast, How It's Related. You can find that on YouTube. Me and my cousin Mike talk music. But no, my thing with Madden is I'm very realistic. So I will run the ball and run the ball and run the ball, and I'll get the expletive filled message, oh, all you do is run. And then I run a play action, like, and get a touchdown, and then they don't say anything. Like, no, I can pass when I need to. I just like I feel like Shanahan. I like the feeling of I'm gonna run and you can't stop it. Like the counters and the sweeps or whatever, just even a 3rd and 1 fullback dive, but they don't know which side I'm going to. Like I'm really good at the run game, and it's frustrating because Madden is not 15-minute quarters. Like no one does that. That'd take forever. So like I run the ball and the game's over. Like they don't get much possession, and that really screws with them when they only get like 1 or 2 possessions the
Well,
entire game.
it's mainly because you're facing somebody who doesn't know like how to understand what runs you're running and then what defensive formation to bring against that to counter that run.
Right.
That's where
They
that's
blitz.
where
They just blitz, and then
yeah, they
I,
just blitz,
y
and then that's
you
when you hit
know
him with the play action pass.
exactly.
Like I would do things, especially when you start getting into the high rankings, because you're dealing with people that are going to run a lot of like non-normal stuff or stuff that it just exploits certain coverages. They're like you run cover 3, they're going to know how to beat it all day long. So like
Yeah.
I would and then knowing the football side of it, I would create coverages that they don't have actually there for you, or they have and it doesn't execute correctly. Like if you run cover 3 Mabel in the game, it would run a hard flat, it would run a mid curl area behind the flat, and then a deep third. Well, I could do that, but then on the backside it's broken. It doesn't run the way it actually did. So I would sub those to be, man coverage on the 1 and 2 on the backside, and then understand the rules of how that's supposed to work with the mic, and I would use the mic, and then people would get really confused and thrown off on that, of like things that they thought they could use to beat cover 3 suddenly don't work anymore.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And do that, or I would use like an over front and bring a safety down, and I would, if you change some pre-snap alignments, I could create it to where they wouldn't see which safety was going to be shifting where, and I would know what the weakness of that coverage is, and I could take that away initially, carry somebody to a handoff point of 12 yards, and then shift from there, and so people get like 2 yards and they get really frustrated.
So you sound like Kurt. What's his
Kurt
last name?
Benkert.
Yeah. So I love watching his channel when he
I
is.
see that, and I had thought about doing that several years ago. I was like, well, Kurt figured it out, and he did it. But he
Yeah.
did it with college football. But again, it takes
He
a
does it
lot
with
of
Madden
time.
too. He does it with
Yeah,
Madden
yeah,
too.
yeah. For me, I'd probably have to get it on PC. It just doesn't is not going to run on PS4. And look, I'm an old man. Getting a PS5 at this point in my life is going to be a little difficult. I don't think
Yeah.
the wifey would be too on board with that at this point in my life.
We need some super chats for Johnny. Uh, it's okay if I ask.
Fund the Madden streams.
Yeah.
No. But anyways, I think that's it. Most of this week is going to be looking forward to what happens when guys put the pads on.
Yeah.
So,
Friday's show will probably be a little bit more fun.
yeah,
because
and
we'll
we're
just
gonna
have.
I'm gonna get the Upton Stout video out and the Nick Martin video out hopefully this evening. I'm just gonna push it out no matter what happens. I've got it mostly ready to go, and then I'm gonna start working on my favorite video that I think is going to be out of this rookie class, which is CJ West. I have so many CJ West clips. Like it's just so many. The Upton, like Nick Martin and Upton Stout, they're really promising, but I can do both of those guys in one video, in like 1 5-minute video. CJ West is going to be like 15 minutes. There are so many stinking clips. I'm really excited for that kid. I want to see what the reports are coming out about him in training camp. Really excited about that.
Yeah. No, I'm super excited for this week as they put on pads like we said. What's a fun way to
in just, I guess, coming back to the Madden thing real quick. What was like, who did you beat worse? Was it like a member of your family? Was it just some kid online? Like
No, some
what
kid
is your
online.
what's your
Always
and so
online. People
just
wouldn't play
like,
me in person. They won't play me in person. They'd quit.
oh, just too
I'm that good.
intimidating.
No, I'm
He's
serious.
that good. Okay.
I have a
Okay.
couple friends that I'm absolutely undefeated against. I mean, it's just not. I'm that like
So what was the score
intense.
of your most epic stomping?
Probably. See,